You said, what makes me unique and what makes me special, and I'm not. And I used to say, when I used to leave, I said, if I don't come back, don't be sad. This is how I want to go out. Like, okay, something has to change here. Like, otherwise I'm going to die. If you approach a situation with any doubt, you put yourself at a disadvantage. Like, why do this, right? I think that's the most important thing. How do I be more consistent? How do I just be a consistent person? It's identity. It's not, I don't even see consistency as an action. I see it as an identity.
How do you instill the belief in someone that they can then create their own story? So if you could just start off with your story and then we can kind of go from there.
That's a good question. I would say I would answer that right off the rip with, you said, what makes me unique and what makes me special, and I'm not. And I think that's what it is, right? Is like, I think so many, what I've learned, and I used to do this, was I was always looking for why somebody else was in a better position than me, or why they had an advantage that I didn't. And I constantly was seeking that. And then I started to realize, as my own journey started to unfold with stunt riding, was definitely it was one of the best things that happened to me, as far as my confidence and my competence, like who I am as a man. I needed that journey.
Why?
One of my favorite scriptures I like to read when I'm in a season is, "You have so little faith. Why do you question?" And when we don't have faith, we need to see it. We need evidence, right? Because that's what we're looking for, right? Faith is things unseen. If I can't see it, if I'm simple, right? There's a proverb, "You simpletons, how long will you be simple?" Right? When you're simple, you need proof, right? Men need proof. And
Receipts.
And I don't know how far you want to go back, but in becoming one of the best stunt riders in the country, I got that proof that I needed. Like, I can make something out of nothing, and that was really my story. Was my brother and I started this journey together. I started riding. I was riding motorcycles, being stupid, riding fast, cutting traffic on the freeway, 120 miles an hour, 130 miles an hour. And I wrecked 2 bikes, and I was like, okay, something has to change here. Like, otherwise I'm going to die. I saw these guys doing wheelies in the parking lot, and they were doing them slow and controlled. It interests me, I had watched the Biker Boys movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
There's a movie about these guys doing wheelies on crotch rockets and stuff, and it's funny enough, is one of the guys that was in the movie was a stunt double. He's actually in the stunt scene, and I'm friends with him.
Oh, no way.
I didn't know that because I was young. He's an older guy. He's in his mid-50s, but when I was younger, this was a big movie. And I saw these guys doing wheelies like that, and I was like, okay, like, I think that's it. They might break something, but they're not going to die. And my brother was like, hey, we should document this. And I was, at the time, I was bad. I was one of the worst riders in the area. And I was like, dude, there's nothing to document. There's, I'm not good, right? You think, like, you want to take a picture of something, you want to take a video of something, you want it to be spectacular.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know is that set the foundation for everything. Recording that stuff, recording us in my garage in my apartment with this janky setup with the tripod that's right there. That's the same tripod.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate that tripod.
Hey,
I'm just messing.
Posting the videos, posting the pictures, like, me and my brother, we don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it. I posted that stuff. I said, we're going to make a name for ourselves. I said that stuff, and this was years ago. And, we could talk a little bit about ego, but I think that my need to prove myself served me in a way that nothing else could. And I know that's against popular belief, you know, and I think that, you know, people, death to the ego, and now I agree from a maturity standpoint. But if I didn't have that, like, I wouldn't have the belief and the faith and the abilities that I have, because my ego pushed me through things that if I was in my right mind and if I wasn't out to prove something, I would have never kept going.
Yeah.
But now that I have the proof, now it's just about faith. And so now it's completely changed. Like the fuel behind the action that used to be ego, the ego gave me the proof, and now I don't need the proof, and I just have faith. And so that's why I move, and that's how I move.
Well, that ego, I think, is necessary in a lot of ways, because that will bypass, especially in your youth, you're just like, you feel invincible. You have an idea, you have the idea of yourself. In that sense, you clearly saw yourself as being one of the most successful stunt riders, and it was just plain and simple to you. So all you needed to do was use the ego to get you from point A to point B. And I think that's important, because once you get the rug pulled out from underneath you and your ego is stripped, like, you're no longer the stunt guy. There's somebody way better than you. Your bike's messed up. You got in trouble with the law, whatever the case may be. That ego is a part of the story that helps develop the sense of faith. Like, you can't have the faith without the ego-driven madman who's just going nuts and crazy. So my philosophy has always changed.
Nobody talks about that part, though.
What part exactly?
Nobody talks about the part when you lose it. Right?
No, I think I definitely think that's becoming more of a trend now, because it's more story based on, like, what is the journey, what is the story,
but
where did you come from?
Nobody talks about how to work through it.
No, they just tell you that they went through it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to tell you, because I think it's unique to everyone. Like, to me, my fails are much different than your fails, but at the same time, like, a fail's a fail, and you might help me out with mine. I know in relationships, that's an easy one that everyone kind of simultaneously goes through. And I called on my mom when I was going through an insane part of my relationship, and she totally walked me through it in a way that made me see outside of my own mind and outside of my lack of clarity and my lack of judgment. And you live in loops and cycles. And so when you begin to break those loops and cycles with someone else's information, that's when it becomes life-changing. And I think, to your point, that is right. Nobody really talks about that, about leaning on someone else for that clarity and that sense of...
Well, that's the right there. Like, that's the power of testimony.
Yeah.
Right. There's a scripture that says, my sheep will know my voice. And I love that, because it's like the people that are supposed to hear me, right, from the background that I come from, right? Like, we all have the ability to reach certain people. And that's why I think, you know, you started with the idea of stories, and that's why I think stories are so important, is that right there, is that the story connects the person on the other end to something within themselves, you know? But I also think that these are the best parts of the story. You know, something I always say that I say in my keynote is, like, when you ever read a book or watched a movie where the guy just dances all the way to the finish line.
Yeah.
Those stories don't get told.
Yeah.
The adversity has to be there. Or else it's what?
It's a whack movie or story.
It's boring.
It's
Nobody
just
reads
trash.
it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, it's a lot like the movies out now.
It's
just trash.
I think for a long time I kind of, I'm lucky is what I'll say. I'm lucky. Yeah. And the reason I say I'm lucky is because there was something about, I don't want to stay too much on the bike, because I'm so much more than that now. But it's such a vital part of my story, because I genuinely, I don't know if I'd be here. I really don't. And we can get into that. We can get vulnerable. I don't know if I'd be here without the bike. I was going through some very, very dark times mentally. Now that hindsight, you know, it was a lot of self-inflicted stuff, a lot of bad beliefs, a lot of I had discipline in a lot of areas, but I couldn't control my thoughts, couldn't control my mind. And I think that divinely, I think God, through me, you know, he wanted to give me the hand off every time I felt like I was going to give up. Like there was a reason for me to keep going. And the bike gave me that in that moment. And then, you know, there's been other things in my life, my wife, my kids, you know, these breadcrumbs of the why, right? The why to keep going. So I don't know if I'd be here without the bike. And I genuinely don't know if I would be the man that I am because of it. There was a pull that the bike had on me that I never experienced in my life before. Like most people, and granted, this is a game that takes your life. I mean, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean, I've seen your videos.
Yeah. And I've been involved in the scene with people that have simply pulled their bike out of the driveway, got hit by a car and died. Right. And you've seen the videos of me flipping over the bar on the freeway and the bike flipping over me, all these unscathed, right? Walk away. All of the bad things about the game that makes just so many, it's so easy. Like, okay, that happened to me. I'm done. I couldn't quit. Like I couldn't find it in me to quit. There was nothing about that. There was nothing that was going to make me walk away. And that I don't feel that way anymore about what I'm doing, but I know it's in there, which means I can access it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I tell people I got really lucky. Like the capability I have and the belief that I have was given to me. And that's why I say it's divine. That's why I say I genuinely think God gave me the bike as a distraction. Yo, I need you to stay alive, bro. Like just here you go.
Yeah. I got something for you.
This is gonna keep you busy. It's gonna help you work through these things. Because I really felt like that's what I was dealing with was lack of purpose. Like why be here?
That's a good question. So that leads me to my next question. What do you value in life?
What do I value? What do I value?
At this day and age.
What do I
value? At this time.
Yeah. Well, I value my family.
Yep.
I value my relationship with God. What do I value? I value impact. I think that's big for me. I genuinely, my goal is anybody that I come in contact with, whether you hear my story or we spoke about something, I hope that you walk away believing in the thing that you want to do just a little bit more. That's it.
You got that effect, bro. I got to tell you got that effect. It's crazy because just spending any amount of time with you, I mean, even having the conversation with that guy before we even started the podcast, I could tell he was getting his wheels turning, and your ability to pull a certain energy and a certain essence out of people is something I really admire about you, because the motion, that the energy it takes to move in a direction that is positive for yourself is so much harder than just succumbing to the negative. Succumbing to the negative, which is a big reason why I got pulled to the Bible and to religion, is because I realized the lessons that the Bible taught was just giving consistent examples of how mankind succumbs to the negative, to the easy, to 100%. The comfort, to all these things. And then I look at my son come up and I look at the way he's constantly choosing the sweetest snacks over, you know, and the most fulfilling immediate desires he can fulfill.
Yeah, you want to feed the flesh.
And then I see that within myself and every action that I do. And for the most part, like I am trying to work out and push myself mentally and challenge myself with the cameras and stuff. But I mean, you're not perfect, you know, so you really see the flaws in yourself. So if you guys have made it this far in the video, you might as well subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be having some really cool guests come on, having some really unique conversations, a wide variety of topics. You're not going to want to miss it. Okay, back to the show. Thank you so much.
Why do this, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. It's like, I don't, you know, I'm not in the business of results. Yeah. I'm in the business of belief and action.
Yeah.
I don't worry about the results.
Yeah.
It's not my business. I stay out of that, right?
Yeah.
All I can do simply is show up with my best and believe. That puts me in the best position for whatever thing I want to happen. And think about that. The moment you don't believe, you put yourself at a disadvantage. Because if the results aren't up to you, watch this. If the results aren't up to you, right?
Yeah.
And that is uncontrollable, And people, you can argue that results are controllable. I don't think they are, right?
Yeah.
That's just
Unless you're in the NFL, huh?
That's just, don't even get me started, bro. Don't even get me started. We're going to get canceled before we even start the podcast.
Let's go.
If you approach a situation with any doubt, you put yourself at a disadvantage. Mm-hmm. And it's so that, let's just say, if you want to be great, the odds are stacked in your favor. I'm sorry, they're not stacked in your favor. That's what everybody says. Mm-hmm. I believe they're stacked in my favor. Am I right? Who knows? Yeah. I'd rather find out in my way than find out your way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you walk into a situation and you don't believe, if I walk into a situation and I don't want to walk in like I want to buy the building. I want to walk in like I own it. Mm-hmm. Because if I find out what my belief is and I find it to be true, I'd rather find out this one than find out the way you think about it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And if belief is the criteria for success in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, bro, you're sitting in it right now.
100%.
Which is crazy because I told Annie, who's going to come on here next, a friend of mine, she was telling me about the space and just about the situation. And I walked in here and I turned around and I walked right out. Immediately when I walked in here, I turned right back out and I said, record this. Because I saw what it was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, record this. Mm-hmm. So I have a video of me coming in here, turning around, and I captioned it and I said, this is going to be mine one day. Mm-hmm. And 3 months later, it was mine. And the day that I came and viewed it was like one of the first days that I even had the idea to run a podcast. Mm-hmm. So within 3 months, this became a reality.
Yeah, here it is.
And I genuinely believed, I was like, yo, this is going to be mine. 100%. And I went home and I was like, that's a crazy belief to have, because they were asking, a ridiculous amount of money in rent and all these factors. I'm like, I'm just starting. Like, what's the reality that this will be mine, But I chose to believe it. I was like, no, like this was a message that I got from God while I was praying, was to create this business. So I'm going to believe like it's a message from God to create this business. Lo and behold, this happens. I'm like, all right.
When you're sent, you move different.
You move different.
When you're sent.
Yeah. I have to do this. Like
when God tells you to go somewhere, you move different.
Yeah.
Right. When you go on your own, and that's, another big thing for me is I'm not moving on my own merit.
Yeah.
Like I'm moving with the divine. Like it's not up to me.
Yeah.
Right. I know I have gifts. I know I have talents. I know that when I step, I'm stepping. Mm-hmm. And that's all I have.
And it's a full step too.
Yeah.
It's
and
not.
If it works out in my favor, great. If it doesn't, then again, as long as I still feel like I'm called to go, I'm going. Like I'm supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the moment my life changed. Mm-hmm. Like I genuinely believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. Believe. How many times do you see that? Mm-hmm. I don't. I still don't. Mm-hmm. Most people will say that's hard to believe. And you as my friend and all my other friends, that doesn't make sense. I don't believe in myself. Yeah. I believe what I read.
Yeah.
There was a moment I was at the gas station by my house, and I started the business a couple years ago. It went really well, really fast. And then it went really bad, really fast. We went up, and then in one phone call, and in 1 week, I lost 80% of our income in one phone call in 1 week with 2 clients. I was barely putting gas in the car, right? And there's a scripture I like. It says, "Will your worries add another day to your life?" I went to the gas station and I was like, "Yo, when are you just gonna start believing what you read? Like maybe you don't have to believe in yourself. Maybe you gotta believe in this." Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the moment that I didn't have the money and I filled the tank all the way up anyways. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, and blessings started happening, I was like, all right, this is it.
This is it.
That was the problem.
And something that I'm going through right now is, and this being in the creative field and owning a business, is like you provide a product. What your idea of the business is I'm going to start a product. People are going to come to me, give me money in exchange for the work that I provide for them. And I was realizing after building this out and building the business up and like just trying to build the back end and get things moving, wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see. And so I'm just sitting there looking at the time like, all right, when's someone going to hit me up? Like, I got the, if you build it, they will come sort of mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
And I ghost, bro, just wasn't hearing anything. And so I was praying about it, and I just heard, go. Don't wait. Go. Like, bring them. Don't tell them. Don't ask them.
You don't even know that you're getting that right out of Scripture.
They were like, bring them.
You don't even know that.
Come.
You don't even know that.
Yeah, but that's what but
you know that's right out of Scripture.
I'm praying.
You know it's right out of Scripture.
That's right out of Scripture.
Yeah.
But I was praying, and that's what came to me, is go. Bring them. If there's somebody that wants to talk to you, if there's someone you want to talk to, bring them. They will come. Mm-hmm. And so I just started blasting people up and just saying, like, come on. I got one right after this. I got another one the next day. I'm like, come on. Like, I'm going to make this happen whether they like it or not, whoever likes it or not. Mm-hmm. Like, this is happening. So you might as well jump on the boat, you know?
Bro, I heard 50 Cent say something one time changed my life. He said, I can either get the money with you or I get it with somebody else, but I'm going to get it regardless.
Yeah. That's fire.
Oh my gosh.
That's
bro.
fire.
I was like, wow, I needed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was in a season when I needed that.
Moving forward, what does your ideal life look like, both personally and in business?
What does my ideal life look like, personally and in business? I'm simple, bro. I really am. I really want to spend every day with my kids and my family and my wife. Business is really not that important to me. Yeah. It's really not. Yeah. And I know that's not popular, but it's just not, you know, and I know you know this because you know me, but it's just not that important to me. I want to have meaningful work. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. Mm-hmm. My goal is to I don't want to be mega rich. I really don't. Because I know people like that, and I know I've seen what goes into that, and I see the sacrifices that go into that from the family side and with wife and kids. Mm-hmm. I'm not willing to sacrifice that at all. Yep. And I know that. So I'm glad that that's kind of X'd out of my mind. I think my biggest thing is I want meaningful work. And the good thing is that Scripture says my gift will make room for me. If you see a man competent in his work, he will serve before kings. So the money will be taken care of. But my focus is I'm not looking for the bag first. I'm looking for what can I do every single day when I wake up and say, this is it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we can talk a little bit about the bike is, you know, I reached a point at a very young age that most people will never reach in their life, is that you find something that you're willing to die for. Mm-hmm. And every day you wake up, today would be a great day to go. I genuinely felt that. I used to tell my mom when I was living young, I just started riding. I was living in the apartment with my mom. And I used to say, when I used to leave, I said, yo, if I don't come back, don't be sad. This is how I wanted to go out.
That's a wild thing for a kid to say to his parents. Like, just thinking about Jet saying that to you or Harlow saying that to me is... But at the same time, you know, it's not at the same time. It's so tough. It's not at the same time.
I can't imagine, but at the same time, I mean,
what a gift, though.
Every man must search his own soul.
Yeah,
and that's regardless of even that's your son. You know, like what is the word? The resentment that would build if you were to stop them. Mm-hmm. This information is only hindsight, only 2020. Mm-hmm. But if I wouldn't have sought that out, but I know what I know now, how important it was to my life. If somebody stopped me from that,
you're like, yo, my life is hanging on the thread of this.
Exactly.
You know, and whatever honestly, whatever this bike is resembling,
and
you know.
That's where I felt like in my life, and this is something I've never addressed, and we can address it right now, is that's where I felt the most misunderstood is from everybody. Like in that season of my life, my parents, my family, even in the game itself, I was so serious about it, and people hated me for that. People hated why I would talk mess to people that were drinking and smoking and do all these things. It's not that serious. It was that serious for me. I was hanging on by a thread. this was what was keeping me alive. It was serious for me. I wanted to be at the front. I wanted to put on. It was very serious for me. And I caught flack because I was so serious about it. And you mix that with ego. And then, you know, I was running my mouth and saying things I shouldn't have been saying and putting people down I shouldn't have been putting down. But it wasn't from a place of, like, I wasn't trying to be destructive. I was in destruction. And this is what was, so I need this. You can't get in my way. Like, you can't have these actions that could possibly take this away from me, right? And I felt misunderstood by a lot of people, misunderstood by, again, the people in the game and my family. You're throwing your life away. You're a criminal. What are you doing? You're a loser. You're throwing your life away. Like, but nobody stopped to ask what I was going through, you know?
The greatest noise comes from the people who are closest to you. And the greatest doubt comes from the people that are closest to you, because they know how to hit those buttons specifically, because they want to change your direction, maybe for the better, but you don't realize that, like, that tactic doesn't work. That only cements the ideology even more. That makes you go harder. Like, oh, if the people that I care about most are telling me that I need to divert this mission that I'm on, but my soul is telling me, like, this is the only mission that I have, like, what better motivation do you have than to prove the people that care about you most wrong?
Well, that's why you got to let God's voice be loud, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, when you're, again, like, that faith, you know, having that blind faith, like, when you get a word, that's one thing that I've learned is, like, when you get a word, you got to step. Like, don't wait, because then the doubt starts to creep in, right? And then it's like, you know, again, bro, I hate keep going back to the bike, but I just learned I had the failure cycle so many times. You think I would go ride and I would go practice. I would attempt to do a trick and fail, or do it hundreds of times in one session. That same idea, try, right? The attempt, the feedback, or the reward or lack of reward. I saw that loop so many times that I'm so used to it that if I didn't have that, it would have, all these other things seasons would have broke me. Just think about how fast you get the feedback. I rocked the bike back, I jump, I failed. All right, cool. Now, you know, we were talking about business. Like, I've been working on contracts for over a year with somebody. Like, I'm still metaphorically, I'm still jumping through the handlebars. Like, I'm in slow-mo, right? Yeah. But it's like, but I learned all these foundational things that I had to have. Otherwise, I'd be learning them now. And all the things that I learned in my 20s, I wouldn't want to learn right now, especially with a wife and kids. And it's like, my life would be a disaster, which it was during that time. So I just, that helped me more than, I learned every bit of my attitude and every bit of my approach and every bit of my faith from that, because I can always draw back on it, right? You need the proof. Yeah. Okay, well, the proof is already there. I made something from nothing. I did this. I was the first street rider with corporate sponsors. Said it could never happen. You got to ride in a parking lot if you want those people to sponsor you. Was doing tricks that people only said could be done at slow speeds. Perfect.
While wearing Jordans.
They were and crispy. No jacket.
Crispy.
Like,
but that's a good point that you said earlier, is that you were in a devastation period. And to think that during that time, you might think, like, what am I doing? Is my life worth something? Like, what trajectory am I going on? Not realizing that is the foundation and the foreground of your story. So for the people who are effing off and doing whatever it is that they're doing, you know, drinking, drugs, partying, not having any focus, not making the right decisions that, like, propel them into the next evolution of life, like, it's still okay, because that now becomes the foreground and the foundation of the story of where you came from. You know, it's like, I came from a place where I was a degenerate, where, you know, I was doing XYZ, and now I look back on it and I know I never want to be that person again. And I know how much joy I've attained. I know how deep I've gone in hell. and how sweet heaven tastes, you know? So that's a good way of looking at it. I never thought about it that way.
I also think that it's not about, I never want to be that person again, right?
Yeah.
It's the mission requires a certain type of man, right? It requires intention. And if I'm supposed to go somewhere, there's only a certain type of man that can get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where my focus is. I try to always, and I know even you being my friend, you probably get annoyed. I always flip something my way. It's always my way no matter what. And sometimes it gets annoying, I'm sure. But that's the only way I've got it to work in my favor. Even in the darkest valleys, I'm missing something here. God has something for me right here.
And it's crazy because you had called me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something, and we were on the phone. I was at the store, and you were talking about one of the guys that you worked with, how he went through the 2008 crisis, lost all his real estate assets and everything like that, 12 million in the hole. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like having mini panic attacks, like, bro, I dumped like everything I have into this and the business and trying to make it grow and build. And I'm like, bro, I'm down and out. Like, I'm just not where I want to be. Like, I want to be taking care of my family. I want to be responsible. I want to be doing all these things. And then you call me, you were like, yo, homie was in $12 million of debt and crawled his way out. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I am not 12 million deep, bro. I could do this. This is fine. And you just need some perspective a little bit.
That's so good, bro. And the way I see it too is you had to do that. Right. I read this book. It's called The Dip. And he talks about how if you don't make the attempt to be the best in the world and you're in the game, you will see the drawbacks. Like if you're in the game, you're going to take the L's. If you're in the ring, you're going to take the hits off the chin. If you don't step to it, like this is the last thing I'm going to do, you never get the full benefit.
Oh yeah.
So imagine only getting the drawbacks.
Yeah, that would suck.
Think about it. Like, bro, when I used to jump the high chair, both feet over the bars, every time in my mind, I would be a little bit fearful and I wouldn't give it everything I had. There was more likely I was going to fall, more likely I was going to break my neck, more likely I was going to flip over the handlebars, not giving it my best. Now take that and put it everywhere else. And that happened to me every time I would kick the handlebars or I'd do something funky and I'd almost fall or I would fall. That has to go everywhere else. If you're not giving it everything you have, you're not opening yourself up to the possibilities. You never see all the fruit.
My tata said something one time that really stuck with me. I was in his studio and he was painting the walls, or I was helping him paint the walls or something. And we had been painting it for however long. I'm like, it's straight, like we're going to throw cabinets over this. We're going to throw a bookshelf. We're going to throw whatever it is. Like I'm good. And he just like stopped on a dime, turned to me, looked at me. He says, if you do whatever you do everything with your full potential. Don't ever give anything half-ass. You'll never get anything full in return that is given at half, And I was like, don't even
know you're reading scripture,
bro.
Whatever
but like
your hands find to do it with all your might.
But he came up to me like I was just chilling and I'm just swiping the paintbrush and I'm like, all right, whatever, I'm done. And he just like spun around, beelined in my face and was like, I'm like, yo. And from there, I'm like, that was extremely profound and has stuck with me in everything that I do. And when I do take those shortcuts, bro, it's worse that you take the shortcut because I'm just sitting there day and night just thinking about it. Like
it's a culture of excellence.
It's so annoying because I'm like, man, I want to be. There's so many times where I'm just like, I don't need to do this extra set. I don't need to, make sure that the lighting is at a good, angle or I don't need to take all these.
Stay right there. That's why I believe in passion over everything. Mm-hmm. There was very, very few people that could give every ounce of their being when there's no passion behind it. Mm-hmm. Very few people have that discipline, right? we've both experienced this. It's like, do you follow your passion or do you build a business? Or, you know, do you do something you don't care about so you can make money so then you can do what you like, all these different directions, right? Mm-hmm. There's very, very, very few people in this world that can fight through the adversity and the setbacks that come with building something just off discipline alone. You don't adjust the lights how they're supposed to be adjusted. You don't do the little things you're supposed to do because you don't, mm-hmm. whatever, mm-hmm. right? But when it's deeper than that, it's you want that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You want to do that. Mm-hmm. Again, like I couldn't quit. I put the bike on Marketplace multiple times and took it back off right the next morning. Mm-hmm. This stupid thing. Like I can't do this anymore. It's not working. It's not running. I can't figure out how to fix it. I can't pay to fix it. I'm done with it. Mm-hmm. Somebody else's problem. Take it right back off. I couldn't quit. And once you're exposed to that type of living, it's very hard to live anywhere, any other way. Mm-hmm. It's very hard. And that's, again, like, you know, you think about like pro athletes and all these things, like after the game, like what do? You know, nobody talks. Bro, I watched this podcast, Gilbert Arenas. He said after he retired, he used to drive around. I think he said he put like 50,000 miles on his car in 1 year, just driving around, finding something to do, because he was like borderline suicidal after the game. Didn't know, no identity. And again, in that floating space, like, what do you do with that? Mm-hmm. You know, and I feel like that's the season I've been. Obviously, you know, I haven't been posting or doing anything on social media in the last couple of years because I'm in that space. Like, I thought this was it. Honestly, if we're being transparent, I thought the bike was going to take me out and I'd be happy with that. I didn't have any plans after that. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. And so it's like, now when you're here, you're like, okay, now what? You know? Mm-hmm. And I have all these responsibilities, which that's it. That's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. The family, the wife, the kids. That's the next thing for me. And that's why, you know, when you ask me about what I want my life to look like, I don't really care about business. Yep. I just want meaningful work, and I want to be with my wife and kids. I want to steward what God has given me well. I want to pour into my family, and everything that I feel like I didn't know that I needed to know, I want to give that to my children. Mm-hmm. My goal, as this is what I'm going to write on my eulogy, bro, is, was I a man that my son wanted to emulate? Did he want to be like me? Mm-hmm. And was I a man that my daughter wanted to marry? That's it. I don't have any other goals. Daughters.
There you go. Yeah. And then we'll see what's next. You psycho.
I don't know, bro. That's another thing I've learned is like, I'm not going to wait. You know what I mean? Like a lot. It's, don't think about how. Mm-hmm. Think about why. Mm-hmm. That's it. Somebody asked me that this morning. I was at the gym at what time? 4. Mm-hmm. Dude text me. My friend, good friend. He just quit his job. Shout out to him. How do you do it? I said, I've been up since 1:30. So he thought I got up at 4. I've been up since 1:30. True, by the way. I've been up since 1:30. Baby was awake, not on my own. But once I'm up, I don't go back down. Mm-hmm. How? That's not how, it's why. Mm-hmm. Why? Because if I get up at 3 and you're not feeling, and you know you need to get up because it puts you as a father and as a man in a great position to be up first. Mm-hmm. It just does. Let's not argue. I don't think there's any arguments about that. Mm-hmm. Getting some physical activity in and serving, filling yourself. You can't pour from an empty place. And for us as men, effort fills us. Mm-hmm. You need to be filled so you can pour. Mm-hmm. And I think getting up early does that. I think you feel gratitude is action. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for another day. Okay, let me get up early then. If you know you need to be doing these things and you see me up at 3 and you usually sleep till 8, you could probably get up at 6. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's my why. It's like, no matter what's on his plate, he doesn't miss.
Nice. Yeah, the how has been something that I've been trying to redirect lately, because the how creates so much hesitancy in action. and knowing that, like, okay, I have this task. It's like, all right, well, what's your goal in your head? I want to land 4 clients and get them at a certain, amount and get them a retainer and do all this stuff. And it's like, all right, well, you don't have that. And then it's like the how starts kicking in. And then you go like, well, maybe I should do this and this and this and this. And maybe that large net will draw in whatever it is that I'm trying to attain. And then you're sitting there and you're like, all right, well, there's all these sub niches.
And we came up with a great strategy.
Bro, there's
that,
all these sub niches,
Yeah.
within each one of those maps and those plans to achieve that goal. And it's like, bro, I'm just sitting here just thinking all day. Like, there's no action behind anything that I'm doing. And motion has created, even motion in any direction whatsoever is creating some semblance of results. Like, sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just moving, and then things will happen. I'll be in a certain place and I'll just be there because I was moved there.
Yeah. And
then I meet somebody and they're like, oh, my friend does this, and this. And then boom, there's a connection. It's like, all right, I just need to stop thinking.
Well, that's what I was saying about I'm not in the results business.
Yeah.
I'm in the belief in the action business.
Yeah. Well, it's full circle. What is your philosophy around consistency? I know we kind of touched on that a little bit, but that was something that I wanted to talk to you about because I think you were, if the most consistent person that I've ever met. And
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a big thing that I try and emulate. You always talk about your son wanting to emulate you, but like my goals for myself personally are like, yes, 1,000% my son, but I want the world to emulate my actions. Not specifically, don't take my job, but I want to show that I put in effort, I put in time, knowledge, energy, focus, commitment, and give tips and tricks along the way of like where I'm at, where I've been, how I got there, and doing all those things. So
I think that's honestly, that's a perfect example of like, you can't pour from an empty place, right? So you wanting, your son to emulate that, or like, people see you, that's a byproduct of filling. That's a byproduct of sowing, right? That's people see the fruit, right? From sowing. So it's a byproduct of doing the thing, right? I think consistency, I always look at things from the root basis. I don't look at it from like, how do I be more consistent? How do I just be a consistent person? It's identity. It's not, I don't even see consistency as an action. I see it as an identity. Because if it's who I am, then it's law, right? If it's an action or something that I'm working on, it's a habit, which sure, habits are great. If you have long-term habits, you can argue it. I just like to use firm language, right? Like I'm just consistent. I'm not trying to be anything. I am this,
I am.
And I think when you think about it that way, and bro, words are so powerful, right? How do you spelling, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. The way that you speak about whatever it is, your everything works that way. Does that make sense? So if I'm just again, if my identity lies in I'm just consistent. I just don't miss. It's that simple. I'm not trying to be anything. I just don't miss.
So how does that align with you? Because you said earlier you don't believe in yourself. So if you believe that you don't miss, how do you not believe in yourself? And what degree do you not believe in yourself, I should say?
That's a good question. I think in the context you're talking about right now, as far as like, I don't miss, and as far as like the getting up and what I do
consistency
in the morning, the consistency to fill myself and then serve my family, I think it's a call. So it's not my choice. And there's plenty of stories throughout scripture where somebody has a kingdom and they fumble the bag and it gets given to somebody else. That won't be me.
Sorry, that won't be me.
No, that's the way I see it. You know what I mean? I just want like, first, I just have this like, overly communicated sense of like, just show them what's possible. And that's what I felt like from the motorcycle too, is like this imprinted narrative for me throughout my journey. And I thought like, I know I talk about the bike a lot because it was a huge part of my story, and something people like to hear. You know, it's crazy and it's, you know, it's wild, but it's so small.
Yeah.
It's such a small part of it's at this point in my life, it's almost nothing to me. But that's where I learned everything, right? It was the same thing. It was like, oh, they don't believe that's possible. Then you be the one. Somebody's got to be the one. You know who C.T. Fletcher is?
Author?
No, he's an older guy. He does these workout videos.
No,
he says that he's like the screaming working out guy, right? He's like in the gym, like yelling. He said that his mom used to say, they're always going to be somebody bigger and badder than you. And he always used to say, nah, mama, somebody got to be the baddest. Like,
oh, okay. I've seen that video.
That was me, you know, like show them. And I feel like that's what I'm now, but that was ego. Now I feel like I'm serving when I show, like, I don't do this for me. I do it for them. I do it because it sets my wife up better for the day. I do it because I get to spend that time in the morning with my kids. I get to do it because I need exercise. It's not about muscles for me at all. It's about mental clarity. Everything in the world requires a secondary force to give you affirmation. Clients got to pay you. You and your wife have to get along. Your kids have to act right. All these secondary forces give you affirmation. The gym is one of the only places where you're in control, 100%. Think about it. The weights don't say no. That's what I'm in it for. The muscles are a byproduct. You know what I mean?
That's wild. Yeah. The weights don't say no.
They don't say no. If I can
they don't just keep asking for snacks and shit, dude.
But they also, they don't talk back. If you can pick it up, it will let you pick it up. Yeah. And you get to, this is for everybody. If you're a man, if you're a dad, a husband, whatever, if you're in a season right now, get up early and go to the gym every single day and see what happens to your life. You don't make enough money. Your boss hates you. You hate your boss. You're all these things. Your family, things aren't going well. You're in full control. I am who I say I am. I'm going to pick this up and nobody can tell me I can't pick it up. Right? That was pivotal for me. Moving from job to business was the gym. And again, it's not about the muscles. It was only about I can walk in here and nothing can tell me I'm not who I'm about to say I am. And that's why it's been a staple throughout my entire life. Even with the bike, I used to work out for the bike. And that set that foundation for the rest of the things here.
Nice. How do you want to be remembered?
Every single birthday that my kids have, obviously everybody makes a post on social media, right? At the end of the sentence or the end of the paragraph or whatever, you know, whether it's to my daughters or to my son, I always say, I hope you know that every single day I gave you, your brother, your sisters, and your mom everything I had in me. And every day would be a good day to lay my life down for you. That's it.
Fire. Can I steal that one?
Yeah.
I'll copy that one. Copy paste that one. Let's see. Well, that went through a lot of the ones I had. I was going to get into some pros and cons of being an entrepreneur because obviously that's something that you do and something that I do, and we kind of go through business, but I think honestly you have such a firm grip on...
You can hit that. Go
I
ahead.
mean, we could hit that for sure, but
I would love to. You know why? Because I don't think it's about entrepreneurship.
Okay. What do you think it's about?
I think it's about self-development. I think it's about, you know this now, right? Because you're doing the thing. But when you first get into it, you think it's about the money, right? You think it's about control, right? Which is so important, right? You think it's about freedom. I think now I see it as freedom is number one, right? Like I cannot imagine not being able to wake up and command my day. That's the biggest thing, because I'm not going to get on here and act like I have it all figured out, because I don't, right? And that's one thing that I'm big on, and the reason that I've stayed off social media for so long is because everything that I had posted about and built everything on, I was so tied to was to my ego. But my next season for my life is going to be about wisdom, and that has to be earned. Mm-hmm. It's not something I was just going to spit out nonsense. And so that's why I was withdrawn from social media for so long, because when I step, I'm going to step. Mm-hmm. And just know every word that I say I earned.
Do you know what wisdom on social media looks like?
I think it means that you've lived what you say. Right?
That's a good way to put it.
And I can genuinely say the things that I talk about, I didn't read out of a book. And if I read it out of a book, I'll say I read it out of a book, or I'll stay out of it. Mm-hmm. But the pros and cons of an entrepreneurship thing, I think to me, it's only about freedom. Because again, I cannot imagine not being able to command my time. Mm-hmm. That's bigger than anything for me. And two, it's just about seeking capability. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, I really bled for that. Yeah. And I made it work. Yeah. That is worth more to me than any. You couldn't pay me not to have that. We were talking about that with the kid in here earlier. Mm-hmm. We were talking about how some people have advantages and disadvantages and et cetera, mm-hmm. Spoon-fed, parents got money, whatever. Not going through the fire and coming out the other side, there is no amount of money that you could pay me to go back and just take a handout.
Yeah, there is none.
There's none. Like people might think that's stupid, but I value that so much because I didn't believe in myself. Mm-hmm. That was my biggest mental struggle, was like, there's no way that I can do this. Mm-hmm. Beating that, it's worth everything, bro.
And you see the people, let's take the lottery, for example. Like, I don't even know what percentage of people it is, but they spend it all. They hate their life. Some are extremely suicidal. Some commit suicide. Some people that get handouts from rich, prolific families, like, all become alcoholics, drug addicts, whatever the case may be, blow all their money, blow their family lineage's money. The caveat behind that is that they didn't have the journey of the struggle and the understanding.
Well, it's because it's not a money problem. It's a stewardship problem.
There you go. Yeah. So that's what I'm noticing. And that's something that's like very reassuring and comforting to myself right now, is as I'm going through it and as I'm going through the infancy of this business, is
you're earning your stripes.
I'm earning the stripes, and it feels
good.
It feels good. And it feels good to just continuously, like, my body will try and do like, my body will get hot and sweaty and like, I'll have physical reactions in my reality, and then I'll like shake it out and be like, fuck you, no. And I'll just shake it out and
get used to it.
I just say there's only one way, and it's forward. And I was told to go, so I have to go.
The only way out is through. The only way out is through.
And then I realized I just wake up the next morning and I'm like, bro, I'm fine. I'm, like, my wife's still here next to me. My son is still running in the, banging open the door saying, daddy, daddy. I've still got my dog, my cat, my home. Like, nothing's changed. So it's the psychological aspect of it is the test that you need to bypass to earn the reward.
And that's why I love it so much.
And that continuous chipping away of that mental strain and that mental struggle until you finally, your body doesn't have that physical reaction anymore. Mm-hmm. Your body's like, you know what? Nah, I got control of this. Like, this means nothing to me. Yep. This is, I know exactly who I am. I know what I have to do. I know where I have to go. Once you have that instilled in your body, downloaded that software in there, that's when you start reaping the rewards and the benefits. Because I would always, when I was praying, I'm like, this came to fruition because I was yelling in my backyard, screaming. I was literally screaming in my backyard. I was so pissed. I was like, God, am I not enough, bro? Like, am I not enough? Have I not been a good friend, a good son, a good father, a good husband? I'm faithful. I try and attain all these goals. I try and, I'm trying to be a good person. Like, I genuinely look at decisions and I say, what is the right choice here? Like, I'm trying to make the right choices and decisions throughout life. I'm sitting there in my backyard just yelling. And he's like, okay. You've broken the scared person that doesn't want to strive for that journey so badly that you're willing to scream in the backyard for some sign of something.
Be alive.
You're alive. Okay. You're alive. Let me test you. If you're really alive, you own all this podcast equipment. Yeah. You've developed the skills to create podcasts, and you love communication and you love connecting with people. Yeah. Produce people's podcasts. Yeah. Boom. From that moment, call it Speakeasy. Boom. From that moment, called a friend. Next day, come see the studio, record the studio, say this is going to be mine. 2 months later, the studio is mine. Next thing we're here. Like,
whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that it's yours.
It's so wild.
So when you read scripture, you realize there's a scripture for every season, right? And something that when you were talking there, is in the book of Matthew, and it says, he's talking about, don't worry about what you will eat or what you will drink, right? Mm-hmm. For the birds, I have to read it. The birds don't toil, but your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you more important than them, right? Mm-hmm. Aren't you more important than the fish of the sea? Mm-hmm. And then it says, I believe it's in the book of Matthew, it's in one of the Gospels, but it's the same context of scripture. And it says, don't worry about what you will eat or what you will drink, for these things cloud the thoughts of unbelievers. Are you an unbeliever?
No.
That's just what I ask myself. Yeah. I'm like, yo, this is what the unbelievers are thinking. Mm-hmm. What am I going to eat? Oh my God, how are we going to live? Mm-hmm. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh my God. It's like, have we ever gone hungry? No. Yeah. You ever not paid the bills? No. Mm-hmm. You ever not paid the rent? No. What are you worried about?
Chill.
Yeah. Right?
Chill.
You have so little faith.
Yeah. And then I even play it out too if I'm ever really going down that deep of a rabbit hole. I'm like, bro, really? Hypothetically, let's say my car gets repoed and my wife leaves me with my kid, and the worst of the worst, whatever it is, like, I still wouldn't be homeless. Mm-hmm. Like, I still have friends to reach out to. I still have family to reach out to. Mm-hmm. I'd always have a place to stay, food to eat. Like, I would live. I would be alive. That's it, bro. That's it. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. All I need is life and an opportunity to live, and everything else is it creates a facade in your mind of anxiety. But that's just the test. I'm going to give you all these things, and then I'm going to give you the fear of these things being taken away, and I'm going to see how you overcome that fear. And once you overcome, and once you become...
You have to pass the test of faith.
Yeah, once you become the person who is living in faith and walking in faith, you then reap the rewards. And so I always thought, am I not ready to... Bro, am I actually not ready to make bread and take care of my family and take my friends out to eat and make smart financial decisions, and also be a good steward in faith and, XYZ, whatever the case may be? Like, am I not ready for that? And then I realized, like, I am not ready. I haven't gone through enough trials and tribulations through that. I haven't broken the patterns of myself and really walked in faith to a point where I am worthy of that. I'm not. I'm cool with that now. Yeah. I get it. I'm cool with that now. I need to work past whatever it is that I don't know I need to work past until I'm getting that reward. I know I'm getting it. I just need to work past it.
I think the harsh reality is the moment you realize if God gave you everything you wanted, it would break you.
Oh, for sure.
That's a harsh reality. Right?
For sure. Lottery.
You always want to be competent, right? You always want to be the guy. I'm the guy for the job. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Mm-hmm. And the moment you go through something and you're like, I've always learned that in the valleys, right? Mm-hmm. In the L's. And I think, clients, drop clients, or clients skipped a month, or, took my ideas and ran with them and went with somebody else. Mm-hmm. I think of those things, right? I don't ever think of the wins to where I ask myself if I'm worthy enough or if I'm ready. It's always in the L's. Okay. I think the biggest L I took was like, I don't know. But I thought if I want to be doing more, the L's are going to be bigger. And whoa, I'm not ready for that. Right? You kind of see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always think of it from the standpoint of that. If you're not ready to take those L's, I learned that from James. Like, if you're not ready to take these type of L's, don't be asking for this type of fruit. You know, he said, you want to make thousands, but you don't want to lose hundreds. You want to make 10,000s, you don't want to lose thousands. You want to make 100,000s, right? You don't want to lose 10,000s. You want to make M's and you don't want to lose 100,000s. That's not how it works. And so I think about that when I ask myself, am I ready for the next level? I don't ask myself, oh, am I ready to manage that type of money? Am I managed to take that type of L? I'm sorry, am I ready to take that type of L? And I think when, you were talking about stewardship, I think that's the best way to look at it. 100%. Everything that's given to me is not mine. I'm a manager of this. And you start moving different when you look at whatever is given to you is God's. And he's letting you manage it. You move completely different. You stop being egotistical. You stop thinking you deserve more than you do. Because whatever in the book of Job, it says the Lord gives and the Lord takes. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Like, let him do what he's gonna do. I'm just of course we have our free will, right? And we have our gifts, right? And I'm cut like this for a reason. I know that. I'm not naive to think that I'm not cut like this for a certain reason. I'm gonna step, but I'm just gonna step in with the best that I can. Again, right? I'm not in the results business. I'm in the belief and the effort business. And if I give all that, let him give what he wants to give and let him take what he wants to take.
I love that. Yeah, because I'm just shedding the layers of my old self, and I have such a small insight of what God is to my life and my reality, and how, I obviously keep coming back to this because this is physical. I can see this, just like you were saying before, is like humans look at the physical results, the proof, and you go like, okay, I believe in God, and then this becomes just my everyday.
The goal is, real quick before you go, the goal is to work past that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is like every day I'm realizing that this isn't it. This was just a small piece to the puzzle of, if I show them, if I build it, they're going to come. But for me to God, it's if I show him, he's going to believe, And so
Can you manage this?
Can I manage this?
Can you manage this?
Yeah. Can I manage the belief? Because the belief then changes who I am. And it's a crazy fear because I know to my core that if I change in the ways of following God and following his word, I will become the best version of myself. Do I want that smoke? Do I want to never look an excuse in the eye and go, oh, I'll take that today? Do I want to not give my best effort 24/7? You know what I mean? Like, do I want to walk in faith in every aspect of my life and know that if I don't, I see it. And I see all my flaws to a degree that is extremely uncomfortable. Do I want that smoke? That's something that's like, bro, it just breaks you. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to break the old you. But
the goal is to not make it happen. The goal is to stop asking for proof.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't need the proof. I don't need the proof at all. I need to continuously get experiences where I'm tested so that I continuously chip away. Because I don't expect myself to wake up tomorrow and go, I'm a godly man walking in faith. I'm everything I do is of the word, like, no, dude, I cuss, I drink, smoke sometimes, make bad decisions. Like, I do these things.
We're going to deal with all that stuff.
Yeah. We got to deal with it. Like that's just what has happened to me. And that's just some of the choices that you get confronted with in a conversation. Like this happened to me the other day at a Friendsgiving. Everyone's like hanging out, drinking and stuff. And like, I had a glass of wine, but I'm chilling, but I wanted to fit in to the social setting and stuff. And so I just let my tongue go. You know, you're just saying whatever, you know, just not being mindful of like, wow, this is not like, I don't want to say
this tastes bad
F
coming
this
out.
and F
Yeah,
that, whatever it is, you know, all day long. Like, it's honestly, it's not me. It's just like, that's just a default mechanism that I use to like interject myself into a familiar situation of trying to be cohesive with everyone.
I think right now what I see in you as a good friend is that you're working on your identity.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're working on like, who am I really at my core? You know what I mean? And I know that when you start get deeper into the word and you start learning like, who am I really? Right. Like, what does this say about me? Right. Not what does the environment say about me, or what does the environment demand from me, but what does God need from me? You know,
which is a very weird concept to me, because and we talked about this a little bit before, but growing up my whole life, my older brother was just, he was tight. He just had the right things to say, absolute intellect, knowledge, super good with skills, good with chicks, good with whatever the case may be. Just was walking the line. And I was underneath him, and he brought me everywhere. I was on his hip, and I just stayed quiet, and I just observed, and I did all these things. And kind of middle of high school years, I kind of branched off and started doing my own thing. And from there, I just emulated his actions and I didn't really understand how to act myself, and like how to choose a friend, because like, would that be his style of friend, or would that,
you didn't question anything?
Like, I didn't question anything. I just like moved in whatever ways that I saw worked, you know? And so as I'm getting older and walking through life, I know I'm living authentically, and like I'll joke around all the time. I'll say stuff all the time. And I know that's authentically me, but there's so much of it where I look back and go like, where was I in all that? You know, because I know that's whatever that feeling is that I got when I was a kid is now back. And so when it comes to business and moving like this, I'm like, I get that feeling. When the cameras are on, I get that feeling like, is this me? You know, or is this something that someone else wants? Or is it something that I know will work to the other person's ears?
I see what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah, that's what you just said right there was the reason that I haven't been online in 3 years. Right there. Is because just being transparent, bro. Like, I didn't know who I was after the bike.
Yeah.
I really didn't. Like I said, I had wished, like, not even wished, I planned that I'm not going to make it past this. So whatever you got from me right now,
so that's throttle was hitting,
that's
bro.
what you're getting from me.
that
right?
throttle
but
was
hang on
hitting.
a second.
Yeah.
To my advantage, that's how I got so good.
Yeah.
It's because I didn't care about the consequences. Oh man, what you can do unbothered by the results or whatever,
by the noise,
is liberating. Like, I'm telling you, my motive to move was just so much different than anybody else I ever met. Everybody needed something to keep going, right? The whole idea behind riding was clout or girls or, you know, following, or I'm not saying I didn't want a following and all those things, but that wasn't my motivation, right? Sponsorships, not getting hurt, that's a big one for people. The moment anything off that list doesn't go your way, see ya, it's done, because it's not worth it, right? The only thing I needed to keep going was to be able to throw my leg over. As long as I can open my eyes and throw my leg over, I'm gonna keep doing this. I don't need nothing. I don't care about the helmets. I don't care about the brakes. Anything that I got there was nothing that somebody could give me or take away from me that was gonna make me quit. And that's where the freedom comes from. And so if you get there, once you're exposed to something, you cannot be unexposed, the law of exposure, right? How do you live any other way? And that's why I feel like in this last 3 years, I've removed myself from social media because I don't know. What is that? And because I only have one speed, and it's on the limiter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I do know what you're saying.
I can't do anything underneath that. So that's what I've been trying to figure out. And I think I figured it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
How would you go about describing that to somebody, like figuring that recipe out? I mean, getting off social media is a good start, but
I mean, I was on there, but I didn't post because I've always taken pride in everything I've done. And so when I was posting the bike stuff, like I was giving it everything, you know, I was giving my all on the bike, right? We were giving our all to the filming. We were giving our all to the edits, like everything. And I didn't want to post something that I didn't want to just do it just to do it. I wanted there to be juice behind it. I wanted there to be like, when someone, especially when you talk, like, I don't know, I think content is great. Obviously, we provide content as a service, but I don't believe everybody should have a voice. I don't subscribe to that. I think you should earn your words. I think you should stand 10 toes on what you're saying. If you're not, I think you should step back and figure that out first. I just want to come correct. And so that was, I was working on that, like, conviction, you know? And it's the first time in my life that I was so confused. And that's why I feel like I came to Christ, is because I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I did it my way, but now that way's over. Like, and everywhere I turned, it was still turmoil.
Well, fortunately, there's a good guidebook. That's the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
On how to go about actions and how to do things, because you
100%.
do get broken. That's one of the comforting aspects about this transformation that I feel like I'm going through, is that I'm breaking the habit of being my old self, but I'm also gaining the knowledge and understanding of, like, little tips and tricks on how to be my new self. And it's all simple. It's actually like genetic too, because I know when I go in the fridge, like, I shouldn't eat X, Y, or Z right now if it's past 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know, like, there's innate things innate actions that go, like, you shouldn't do that. And it already tells you in your head. If you just follow that, you'll be following the word, basically.
Facts.
You know, so that's just it just cements that ideology for you again, because all we have to do is it's just repetition. Your body's force feeding you this idea that you need to take the easy route. But that is what makes me believe so firmly in God, is that your body is the test, and your mind and your soul are the will to overcome that test.
100%.
And so you have to separate the two. You have to break your body down physically with your mind mentally. So I have to mentally wake up each morning, choose, even though my body's exhausted, tired, and wants to sleep, and my eyes are barely awake and I can't even think, I'm like, bro, I can just hit this and crash back out. You know, you have to force yourself mentally to bypass your body's urges and desires to get up and go. You then force your body, after all the reps, like, I'm chilling at 8, I know I have to do 10. You know, like, it's all day long. I know I shouldn't eat this, so I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna.
Have you read the book of Ecclesiastes yet?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. Solomon says, and this is Solomon, the richest man to ever exist, the richest man to ever live. The book of Ecclesiastes is like when he's exploring the depths of pleasure, because he's like trying to figure out the meaning of life. Like, he says, I've denied myself nothing, is what he says. He's got, 300 wives, 700 concubines. He's having orgies. He's doing all these things. And he says, a smart person would think about death. And he says a smart person, I don't know if that's the right word, a smart person, but a smart person would spend more time at funerals, because it gives, to me, when I read that, it gives perspective, right? If you think of death, like, I think of that. And again, but and what I so beautiful about this is, like, you're working on this, right? I've already adapted this idea. This is cemented in my mind. Like, because I went through that, like this, I'm going to die for this bike. Right. So now everything is just on that speed. Like dude, sometimes like, I'm not going to lie. Like I'll be in the gym and I'll be like, die right here. Pick it up until you die. You're not going to die. My high school basketball coach said something one time. He said, the good thing is before you guys die, you're going to pass out so you won't feel it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, just die right here. Like, you know,
yeah.
That's why, again, I'm so passionate about passion because how silly would it be for me to go out right now and not be doing something that I really love to do. And so I'm more focused on the choices I make to spend my time in doing that. So that's why when we talked about business, I don't know, it's not that important to me. I want to be with my wife and kids.
Yep. Yeah.
Because if I go out, that's the last thing I wanted to be doing. Not anything.
I guess I wanted to talk about business in a sense of like, more so, you want to do good work.
Yeah.
You want to do good work that is outside of your family. Family is work. Family is a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's also that work that you have to put in physically, mentally, emotionally. There is an outlet that you have to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to more so understand what is it, your goals as far as like the outlet that is.
Yeah. That's good.
Because realistically, it's like, yes, 1,000%. Like, I think about the equipment is a lot of people will fantasize about the equipment. If I had this, if I had, you know, a FX3, G Master lenses, more lights, bigger studio, whatever the case may be. And I go like, if I had this, I could just get this angle, you know, like I don't care about the camera. I don't care about the lenses. I care about the results that I can provide for myself or for people. Realistically, it's for other people because I want them to be able to do this and be able to do whatever it is, you know, that they're trying to do.
So you're saying, what does good work look like?
But what does good work look like to you?
I think good work is me using my gifts. I think, you know,
And what do you think your gifts are?
I think my gift is encouragement. Yeah.
So how do you see yourself as I'm going to use business as generic, as more so work. Like, how do you see you utilizing your skills for the work of transformation for other people? What are your dreams for that aspect?
So I say, you know, I always back everything with scripture. To whom much is given, much will be required. My brothers and sisters, not all of you should teach, because those of you who teach will be judged more harshly. I think teaching in itself, you know, requires responsibility. And so again, I think I've been reserved. I know what my call is, but I think I'm being asked to chill.
Okay.
Because there's a little bit of a part of me that I wrestle with that wants to jump. And I feel like sometimes I get the call to jump, but then have I earned everything that I speak about? That's all I care about, because I never want my words to fall to the floor. It's important to me, right? And so I think, especially when, again, I see I'm a steward of my gift. It's been given to me. I don't want to be using it in a way where it's not ready, you know? And I think the way that I prepare for that is I live my advice. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Like, and I think about it with Jet so often. You asked me a couple of times, like in conversation, like, yo, like, how do you push? Like, how do you get through it? Whatever I would tell, when I'm in adversity, whatever I would tell my son, if he came to me, if I sit back and I meditate and I picture him older, 16, 21, 25, 30, and I see him in front of me and he explains to me the situation I'm in at that time. This is how I always do. I live my life in metaphor. Dad, what do I do? Whatever is about to come out of my mouth to that older kid, and I'm older, I live that. I live my advice. And as I continue to live my advice, that's where the conviction comes from to share it.
That's a good way to put it. It's so hard to stay in that state of mind because
it's very hard.
Especially with kids. I mean, they're just about consistent action. And like we continuously keep going back to, it's like your body is going to tell you one thing. Like you'll get frustrated. Like for the most part, I'm completely level-headed with my son, and he can be wild. And I know actually the right answer is to bombard him with like a good time, so to speak, like just fun. Like if he is tripping, he's in a bad mood. If I bomb him with love and affection and like playfulness and kindness and stuff, like I do it so much that he just is like, all right, I'm done being mad, you know? But it takes that certain level of consciousness to be that present and go, if he's genuinely asking me this, then I genuinely need to put myself in that scenario, in that position, and go through it.
I mean, I do
win or lose.
I do it for my own situations.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit by myself. There's this spot I've been parking in for like the last 5 years. Every morning I park in the same spot. And whenever I'm going through something or I'm in a season, I sit right there and I close my eyes and I picture what I think this kid's going to look like when he's older. And he says to me in his voice the situation I'm going through. And I look at him and I say, I think this is what you should do. And then I do that.
It's just simple action.
It's simple.
Because I continuously tell myself that too. It's like if you picked a random date for me and said December 9th, 2021, I'd be like, I don't know what my financial situation was. I don't know what I was doing. I'm probably COVID, like maybe working, but like realistically, I don't know. Like it doesn't bother me. 2023 doesn't bother me. 1997 doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't bother me. I lived through it. It might have gave me something then, but I don't feel anything now. So it's like, how important is it if tomorrow is going to alleviate that pain?
Here we go. Do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will have its own worries.
You know? And so I'm like, you're just tripping. Like you're just, it's psychological, and that's it.
Bro, you remember
it's
that?
Just psychological.
Was it like a meme or was it a movie when the guy's like, but did you die?
Exactly. Yeah.
But did you die?
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? Like,
and then the opposite.
Send it.
And then the opposite of that is like, okay, whatever you were worrying about, bro, you no longer have to worry about any worries.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you walk the right path.
100%.
But you don't have to worry about any worries if you die. But if you're alive, like, why are you worrying? You're alive, bro. You get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
Bro, just like what happened to you. I don't know if you want to tell this story, but the $7 story.
Yeah.
That is
Where do you want me to go?
Crazy. Just,
Where do you want me to start?
just even talking about where you were at, your mindset, what you did while you had that $7 with getting that job for a second, and then your belief system behind that. Because that was so.
Right.
When you told me that, you were calling me as you were going through that.
Bro, we did a shoot. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
We did a shoot at the most expensive house that has ever been listed in our area. Big dog in it. And I had $7 in my account, and I showed it to you. $7. I was waiting for invoices to come in. I had no money, bro. Barely had any gas to get there. I was like, yo, I need you to drive.
Yeah. You're like, what are we going to do? Come on.
To lay the framework, I was for years, and this is for anybody that is going through this right now, you know, you're not alone. For years, I knew I was living underneath my potential, and I hated myself. I hated myself, bro. I don't hate jobs. I don't hate that. I'm not the guru that's like, oh, you should never have it. I don't subscribe to that. But I didn't hate the job. I hated living underneath my potential. I hated knowing I had gifts that I wasn't using. I hated knowing I had more potential financially. Knew it. and I wasn't acting on it. That's what I hated. And I had a moment where I was with my old employer, and he said, I want you to take over this business, and I have another guy that's doing something similar, and he's making, I won't disclose the number, it doesn't matter, about this much money per month. And he's doing well, is what he said. And I'll never forget, I was sitting in the passenger seat, and the number he said, he's doing well, was underneath my family's survival. And at that moment, I was like, I cannot let another person dictate my future. Right there. And again, I was so low at that point in time because I felt like I had reached a pinnacle, and I felt like I was at the mountaintop, bro, honestly. And I got all the way to the top, and I just got to see the view, and I slipped and I went all the way back down. That's what I felt like. And I felt like I was looking up so discouraged that I was like, I don't even want to climb back up there. Like, I was already up there. I saw it, but maybe that was enough. Maybe if I just close my eyes and look at what I saw while I was up there, that it will be enough for the rest of my life. And it's never going to be. You have to climb back up. And at that moment, I was like, I have to figure something out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to figure it out. And I ended up getting in an altercation with my employer. Not a physical altercation, almost a physical altercation. It was the next day I didn't go back to work, and I just decided, this is it. I'm going to burn the boats. Like, there's no going back. I've seen, again, at this point I was saved, but I wasn't like on fire like I am right now. And so I was like under this impression, okay, just like believe what you read or believe what you see. All these other people are saying, oh, just believe in yourself. Like, you know, there's no plan B. Like, how many times have you heard that? 1 million. Maybe I'll try it. And I didn't have enough cash, but thank God we had credit cards that I could live off until I figured it out. And one thing that I was for certain, because I was so unsure about our situation, but one thing that I was certain of is that every single time I had put my eggs all in one basket, it worked out. Every single time I said, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to make happen, it always went well. And nice. I told my wife, we are going to live to our values. I'm not going to send you to work. I'm quitting this job. I'm going to figure out a way for us, and I'm going to live that, even if I have to bury us in the process, no matter what. I cannot go back, because at that point, my mind, I say sick with unbelief. My mind was so sick. It's like me going back would be like taking an alcoholic in a bar. You don't take an alcoholic in the bar. Yeah. He's got a problem. I have an unbelief problem. I can't go back. Any little bit of like a smell of the alcohol, like, right? Yeah. Any little bit of like, oh, you should go back. You should quit. It's not for you. All that. Keep that away from me. Go the other way. And, bro, by the grace of God, 2 months after that, was making more money than I ever made in my life. 3 months after that, doubled it after that. So I was 5x my income in like 3 months. And in that moment, before all these things had came through, I had $7 in my bank account. I have the receipts to prove it.
And the transformation of that level of belief, I believe, only comes when you're broken down into a place where you can be molded and reshaped. Yes. And that's beautiful.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
I love looking at life now as if I'm not in my ideal, comfortable situation, which is like making sure that your wife, your kids, your house, your car, whatever the case may be, is all paid for, and, you know, job's going good, and you're healthy, and you're doing all this stuff. Like, if you're not in your right mindset, and you're not in the physical place where you want to be and you know you should be, bro, that's right where you're supposed to be, because that's where the breaking happens. You know you're supposed to, whatever it is that you're doing is not right. That's not the recipe. It's not the sauce. Just accept that that's not it. Don't force it. Accept that I need to be broken. Go through the breaking. Go through the reckoning. And emerge. And when you emerge, you go,
Faith,
bro. That's what I was missing. I was missing.
Faith can only be proven genuine if tested by fire.
Mm.
That's the only way it can be proven genuine. And bro, one thing I will say, just to add to that, is you talked about the belief. At that point, I didn't believe at all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe, but guess what? I don't care. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what happens. The only person who believed in me at that time was my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She was the only person. She held the belief for me because I didn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, whatever we have to do to make this happen, I don't even care. It can all burn down. We could lose everything. But I cannot go through my life wondering if that capability isn't there. I always say, I would rather make a mess and spend the rest of my life cleaning it up than spend the rest of my life wondering what if.
And this is the most, I think, when we had this conversation when you and Kalai were doing a podcast, just choosing the right partner for yourself, and you guys were kind of going back and forth. And I had made that analogy about war and how pivotal it is, because when you are put in those situations, you then have to lean on somebody who's not equipped and ready to fight the battles that you have for yourself. It's not, and you guys are a team, so it is a battle that you guys share together, but you're carrying that sword and you're running first in line to start swinging, and she's the one back there that's like making sure everything's good and calling the shots.
It takes a special, man, my wife is such a special person, bro.
I know, I was just about to gas Miss Jean up right now.
It takes a special type of woman to believe in a man that I was when we met, and say, I don't accept this from you. You're better than that.
To see your potential, to see, dude, and that's just another sign from God that like she received, is like she got that feeling and emotion and that connection. Like, I can see past all this stuff that you got all over me. You know, I could see all the mud that you're wearing on you, and I'm just gonna wash it off.
It's powerful,
man. And it's so crazy because I hear a lot of the times in relationships with people, it's like, we can't stop arguing, we can't stop fighting, we can't stop bickering, we can't stop doing all these things. And that's all normal and that's all fine. But at the end of the day, when you have someone that rides for you to that degree, I can't ever leave my wife. I physically couldn't. If I wanted to, I could not. One, for the amount of respect that I have for her. Two, there's just no reason. She's the dopest. But to know how much belief she has in me, to see the vision that I have, the emotion, the energy, the strain that I go through, the struggle, the mental, just the life that I put into everything that I do, she sees it and goes like, okay, I chose you, you know. And she chose me, you know. She chose me, and she decided that was,
that's good,
bro. That's it.
That's good.
He's mine, and no matter what we go through, I'm gonna find a way to balance out whatever storm he has going on. Because with us, it's always, we're looking at the next storm. You'll be in a prosperous spot and go, all right, where's that next storm coming in from? And she's there, and she'll just be like, there's no storm right now. We're at the beach.
Chill.
You know, kids playing in the sand. Like, make a sandcastle with your son. Chill out.
Be
like, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And then I turn around and I'm like, there's a fucking storm coming. You know? So it takes, I think that's the most pivotal portion of a man's journey for himself, is to find a woman that can really ride, man. Just really, really be there and see the vision and see without judgment, without mitigating a man's spirit, just their spirit. Bro, I literally look and I'm like, I'll literally cry sometimes, because she'll just say, I'll say stuff like out of the blue, like, what if I quit everything and I just decide to do this? She said, then I'd believe in you. Go do it. In a heartbeat.
Blind faith,
without question.
I love that.
And I'll just be joking, and I'll do it months and months apart, but you throw these
Test
little
her, yeah.
tests
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
and you go, yo, you actually, like, you really believe that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
powerful.
you really
that's powerful.
believe, like, you're psycho, dude. You're crazy. Because I'm crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just,
I like
but
it.
no, yeah, is there anything else you wanted to kind of go over? Because I think that was beautiful. I always appreciate having you on. I always appreciate chopping it up with you. You're someone I look up to, and I try and emulate. I do try and implement a lot of the things. I try and not do a lot of the things like jump through handlebars and wake up at 4 a.m. I'm more of a 6 o'clock person.
That's
but
fair. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate your insights, the consistency, the ability to just see life, like really analyze it and really look at it and go like, what are we missing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we talking about right
Yeah,
now?
what are we talking about? Because, bro, I'll literally be chilling with Harlow and you'll be like, come over. And I'm like, man, like, it's already 4 o'clock, sun's down. Like, I don't really want to go out. And like, bro, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not doing nothing.
You doing something
bro,
better?
bring your kid over here.
Yeah.
He's going to play with my kid. I'm going to cook you a good meal. You're going to hang out with me and my
Yeah.
wife. And I'm like, yeah, I never
come
regret
on.
that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
literally.
Like, I'm never
Yeah.
going to regret that. So I appreciate that about you, and I appreciate you constantly just being real. So this is the Brandon Cruz podcast. Actually, this is episode 10 too.
Wow.
So that was a cool highlight, I guess, for me. It was a banger.
That was a
Something
banger.
that I've been thinking about a lot lately
Hope I put on.
is
Hope I put up views for you, bro.
get the views. Just check the analytics. You can see. You said it's long form.
Yeah,
Let's
come
go.
on. Let's go.
But yeah, man, you really helped me understand my authenticity and articulate my need for being authentic with constantly checking up, constantly looking at like, right, like, why do you do that? You know, like, yo, you're cool. Like, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Why do you do this? You know, like, I'm like, no one really ever checks me like that. You know, like, they'll just let it slide.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like,
Man,
all right, if I get checked, like,
and that's the last
bro,
thing I'm gonna say.
I'll look at myself.
The last thing I'm gonna say, and we can wrap it right here, is that's one thing I never will do is I always speak to the potential, right? Like I was just having a conversation at the gym with my boy the other day. I said, yo, you don't have to like me. Like your mind and your flesh, you don't have to like me, but I care about your heart. So with that being said, I'm not going to let you speak this way about yourself. I'm not going to let you have limiting beliefs. I'm not going to let you act underneath your potential. I'm not going to let you act like your actions are okay. Right? I'm not going to see you. You never applaud a man for his shortcomings.
Yep.
It's that simple.
No participation trophies.
And it's like, what type of men do you really want in your circle? You know what I mean? Like, the idea is to be pushed and sharpened and challenged, and to have someone to have your friend go like, yo, you need to run into that. Not like, oh yeah, it's probably too dangerous. Like, yeah, you should probably chill. That doesn't speak to your spirit or soul. Right? So that's just the type of people I want. I live my advice. Whatever type of friend I would want, I'm giving you that. Whether you like me or not is not my issue. Right? I'm just gonna give you what I need. Because know thyself, know others, right? So if I push myself like that constantly, why didn't you get up earlier? Right? You could have went a little harder on that last set. Like, I'm constantly critiquing myself. So sometimes it comes off a little bit much for my friends, but I just see it as like, I know that's in you. I'm gonna speak to that. I'm not gonna speak to.
Well, it's nice because at face value, you're actually you're really speaking to the future version of myself, because
Speak to the potential.
But at face value, hypothetically, let's just say I actually receive that and I go, okay, like, maybe I should do X, Y, and Z. Like, I shouldn't take shortcuts here, whatever the case may be. But if I did look at you and go like, why the fuck did you just tell me that, you know? And then you leave, and then I think about that later on, is like, why do I do that? You know, why, you know, and then it really transforms. Like, maybe if somebody else is pointing out that it must be there's must be some truth to that. So I should analyze that. And if I analyze that, I see it. And if I see it, then I can change it and I can act on it, you know? Ding dong.